Okay. Oh, blessed be. It's a wonderful night here at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, and welcome. It's our Wednesday night midweek Oasis service. My name is Paul, and it is Wednesday, April 20th. We have a wonderful, I say this every Wednesday, right? But every Wednesday's wonderful. We've had so many terrific speakers over the several years that I've been doing this. But tonight it's even more special because it's not easy to wrangle Reverend Sally these days. She's on the road and traveling with her ministry, with her. She'll tell you all about it in a little bit, but we're so blessed to have her. So welcome, Reverend Sally. Welcome home. That's the word. Home is wherever, whatever Walmart parking lot Gracie parks in, right? But she's back in Antioch with Dave, and she's here with us tonight. So we're really excited. So welcome, church family. What is the Oasis? Why do we call it Oasis? Because it's a place where we can be together as a community to be spiritually refreshed between Sundays. We present our Wednesday nights in what we call our version of satsang, where we have a speaker speak on the topic, and then we open it up for discussion. Our intention is that these gatherings be informal, intimate, and rich. Now, tonight we have a special request. If you've got a minute, grab a pen and a piece of paper. You'll need it for part of Reverend Sally's presentation tonight. She's going to ask us to document something. So take a minute and grab a pen and a piece of paper or a pencil or whatever instrument of writing choice you would like. Our annual theme is Wonder, Wonder Everywhere. Even wherever Reverend Sally is, it's wonderful, right? So she's demonstrating that for us tonight. And the monthly theme for April is, yes, April still, creativity. So if you're joining us for the first time, we welcome you. We're so excited that you're here with us tonight. You've obviously found our webpage if you've gotten this far. In the lower left-hand side somewhere is a place you can enter your email address and submit it if you'd like to subscribe to our Village News newsletter. That will be something you get every week, and it'll tell you what's coming up in the week ahead here at the Oakland Center. It has all the information for you to stay connected with us. So we encourage you to join that newsletter if you're interested. Please note that you will be muted by our Zoom team. This improves the quality of our transmission. So if you haven't done it already, if you could turn off your camera and your microphone now, that would be most appreciated. And please stay tuned to the very end, because after Reverend Sally speaks and we do our sharing, I have some special and important announcements of what's coming up. So please stay with us for that. So now it's time for me to introduce our speaker. I've already mentioned her. You've all come to see her. We've been talking about you for a week, Reverend Sally. So we expect a good crowd tonight of your fond friends at home. So glad to see you here with us tonight. Reverend Sally, as you know, is a staff minister, and she now has her own ministry on wheels, so to speak. Kind of like Meals on Wheels, but more like Science of Mind on Wheels with her husband, Dave, and they travel all over the country with their recreational vehicle known as Gracie. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful ministry. So tonight she'll be speaking on reveal, release, rise, then repeat. So with that in mind, Reverend Sally, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to ask that you start us off with an opening prayer.
I would love to do that. And thank you so much, Paul. It's so good to be here amongst my beloveds at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. So let's do, as Paul says, let's go into prayer. Let's allow ourselves to close our eyes, open our hearts and our minds. And in doing so, we are recognizing that there is one power, one presence, one divine intelligence And it is this one that creates and is everything. It is this one that supplies and meets all needs. All is well in and as this one. Whether it's a sunrise over the Gulf of Mexico or a sunset over the East Bay, God is fully present, always available, ever loving, unconditionally loving. This one power, this one presence. And I know that it is my life. It is the life of each and every beloved on this call and beyond. For it is all there is. And I know that this loving presence is life affirming. And I know that this loving presence blesses our time together this evening. We are here to love, to reveal truth, to release blocks, and to rise up as the God beings that we are. I give thanks for the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living that makes this possible, and I bless this center in all that it does. Grateful for this and the more. I simply release this word, knowing the blessing is, and together we say, and so it is. Mm. Hello, Oakland Center for Spiritual Living peeps. I can't tell you how good it is to be here this evening with you. I am happy to be with you, and I'm calling in on Zoom from what we're calling our landing pad, our home in Antioch. We're just back from our first official Consciousness Caravans excursion, and I would need a lot of time to tell you all the adventures we've had. But what I will tell you right off the bat is this idea of taking science of mind to the campgrounds, to individuals, wherever they are in this country, because we're keeping it to this country, it's a bigger idea than even I thought it was. And I am so grateful that the seeds for this idea were planted at the Oakland Center. They were nurtured at the Oakland Center. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me my wings. So tonight, I'm going to talk about reveal, release, and rise. We'll explore these ideas, and as Paul said, I need you to have a piece of paper and a pen or some way of writing an affirmation. So go ahead, if you haven't gotten that yet, you weren't on the call when we talked about that earlier, make sure you've got that available for yourself. So let's start this talk with the idea of revealing the truth of who and whose we are. In my mind, it's a given. It already is. God is. God is omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. Wherever we are, whatever we're doing, God is. Now, I find real comfort in that knowing. And if the word God doesn't sit right with you, I understand that, and I encourage you to mentally substitute whatever phrase works for you in knowing that there is a divine truth to life. Revelation or bringing your God self out comes from recognizing that our divinity, combined with our willingness, our own free will choice to cultivate, and our willingness to be consistent in our awareness of this divinity within us, that's what brings it forth, that revelation. So, by our very own recognition, we create an opening for higher knowing and activate more, greater volumes of flow of that divine energy, that Godness. Yes? Yeah. Does this sound familiar? Well, for those of us who have been studying the science of mind for some time and having seen the faces on the screen and read the names in the participants list, I know many of us have. This concept, this idea of recognition, well, it's the first step in spiritual mind treatment. It's the first step in our science of mind prayer. It's what we do, how we connect ourselves with the divine. Now, Eckhart Tolle says in Stillness Speaks that you must find peace not by rearranging the circumstances of your life, but by realizing who you are at the deepest level. Raymond Charles Barker says in The Science of Successful Living that those who know that they are the inlet and the outlet of ideas that are born of a larger mind and a greater love, well, they become vehicles of the Spirit. I just love those quotes. And that last one in particular, Consciousness Caravans, our vision, our motto is that we are the vehicles of spirit and consciousness. Life, it's our grand adventure, and we intend to live it consciously and authentically. Everyone does this. Everyone reveals their own understanding of this divine truth. So let me say a word about the word authenticity. What is authenticity? Well, to me, authenticity explains the difference between performing and expression, being oneself. Performance is often for others, but expression, it's for the self with a capital S. The focus here is the key. I'll ask the question. Knowing that each of us is a fully formed divine idea in the mind and heart of God, because that's what we are, what is being called to be expressed and can only be expressed in, by, and through and as you? Let that question sink in for a minute. Knowing each of us is a fully formed divine idea in the heart and mind of God, what is calling to be expressed and can only be expressed by, in, through, and as you. Well, Dr. Holmes wrote in the Science of Mind text on page 147 that we all have the ability to transcend any previous experiences, to rise triumphant above them. Put a caveat on it, though. He says, but we'll never triumph over them while we persist in going through our old mental reactions. So, willingness is a key to revelation. Are you willing? I know you are. Let's do a simple practice, and this is where your pen and paper come in. It's a practice that you can repeat again and again after this talk. Take a few moments now to consider some good that you are willing to experience for yourself. And write on your piece of paper an affirmation. Write the affirmation for this good for yourself, keeping the statement in the present tense, meaning it is happening now. I am are the two words I want you to start your statement with. I'll give you a few minutes to just think about what you want to claim, what good you want to affirm for yourself, and write it down. I am. I love being with that statement, with that open-ended statement. I am, and all the good that comes up, all the good that's possible. All right, so let's put that aside for a minute. And let's talk about the next step, which is releasing blocks. Ernest tells us on page 283 of the Science of Mind text that releasing the weight of past limiting beliefs and judgments, well, that frees us up to rise in faith. And here he claims that faith is a mental assertion of our good. So we are rising up in faith, and we are allowing ourselves to be elevated to the plane of realization of that good. We start this evening with our affirmation. I am. In our statement of principles, or what we believe, Ernest wrote, we believe that heaven is within us, here and now, and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. So if we're not experiencing heaven or the good that we desire, then there must be some blocks. Imagine, real, physical, some blocks in our way. So I ask you, what blocks are keeping you from attaining your good or rising up? What are those challenges to that good? When challenges show up, and they will, whether personally or in the collective, I'll tell you personally, we went to South Texas on the beach, wonderful location, and the weather was crappy. It was cold, it was windy. That's a challenge. And in the collective, we listened to the news this evening. It's a challenge. It can be difficult. But you know what? The real challenge is not in any of that. It's in remembering to name and claim not the challenges, but God as source, substance, and truth. It's so easy to be distracted by everything else that tries to get our attention through negative means. Spirit, God, doesn't do that. It is always present, omnipresent, always loving, unconditionally loving, always. Our recognition of this truth is what opens us up for life's vitality and creative energy to reveal itself in, through, and as us. Now think about it. We, each one of us, are whole, perfect, and complete ideas of God, formed in the mind of God. You know, working with a practitioner, a minister, or a trusted prayer partner, it's a good way to help one identify what are those patterns of blockages. And I know from my own spiritual work with myself and serving others that these patterns of blockages, they're kind of like repeated behaviors, and they can tend to block the good from expressing when recognition of who and whose I am in that moment is far away from my head. But remember, in truth, and this is what a practitioner helps us to see, and they know for us, in truth, we are unlimited channels of possibility. Last Sunday, Reverend Catherine was speaking of this idea of rolling the stones away from the tomb, celebrating Easter. And she used props of stones, and I love props. I don't have any tonight, but I love props. And she gave examples of various blockages that we may have getting in the way of our rising up from the tomb. The idea of rolling away stones from the tomb, well, for me, it's even more powerful when I substitute the word womb for the word tomb. I don't really relate to the idea of my body being placed in a tomb, but I have had the experience of catching an idea being impregnated by Spirit's call for me in the womb of my heart, and having stones of my false beliefs, my doubts, my fears, and other ideas of not good enoughness pop up and keep me from taking action on Spirit's call. The easiest example that I have is consciousness caravans. This idea of Spirit was planted deep in my heart early in my ministry, and I needed to do the work to roll away those stones that kept me from truly birthing it and allowing it to birth me. So let's take that affirmation that you wrote down earlier. I want to give you the practice. Read it to yourself. I am. Now, as you do this, be aware of the negatives that pop up or the blocks that arise when you imagine yourself having or being that good. And you know what? Even if you don't hear an immediate response of something negative, I still want you to go through the practice of looking at your affirmation of the good that you are claiming for yourself. I am perfectly healthy. And I want you to write the opposite of that. I am sick and tired. So write the opposite of what you affirmed. And now here's the really important part. And I recognize in doing this, this is kind of a twist from the way you may have been taught how to work with affirmations before, where we're usually starting with the, oh, all this is so wrong and miserable, and all I can think about is the bad. Tonight, I'm asking you to start with the good Recognize there might be an opposite. And now what I want you to do is take your pen or pencil and I want you to cross out that opposite statement. Cross it out right there on the paper so that you can see it's been crossed out. And now I want you to rewrite your affirmation. So you'll have your affirmation, I am divinely healthy. I'll have the opposite, I am sick and tired, and I will have crossed that out, and I will rewrite, I am divinely healthy. Many of us, I think you could tell with me, my hands are moving all the time. We're kinesthetic learners, and we need to take that physical action. So this practice gives us the ability to kinesthetically learn our good. Start with the good. Cross out anything opposite. Reclaim the good. All creation, any idea, must gestate before birth. Design comes before form. And there's a period of time, a design period, for the idea to take form in mind. All creative ideas and possibilities must gestate in that womb of divine mind. And remember, recognize that you, we are an outlet and an inlet of divine mind. Every creature, my dog outside barking, humans included, even ideas, we progress through a period of hidden darkness in the womb. We go through trials and tribulations that are part of this birthing process before being brought forward into our whole, perfect, and complete physical forms. You know, I can think of a couple of examples of this. The acorn, you know what it looks like. It's a little seed. The acorn itself, it is whole, perfect, and complete when formed. And yet that acorn must break open, go through trials and tribulations in order for the seedling that's inside to then go through the trials and tribulations of coming up above the soil level and becoming that giant oak tree. And in honor of this past Easter, I can give you another example. Think about an egg. And the baby chick inside the egg must go through trials and tribulations to peck open its eggshell before it can burst out and live as a bird. So these trials and tribulations, you can think of them as blocks if you want, but they're just part of the service, part of the progress. And you have to remember, I'm asking you to remember, that in every phase, acorn or egg, seedling or chick, in every phase, God is whole, perfect, and complete. In our own creative lives, when we are willing to go to God first, to reveal the truth in as we are now, then the guidance that we seek, it's divinely inspired. It's informed by the infinite loving intelligence. And it's expansive once released from the blocks and challenges. This is the spiritual law. This is the way it works. So it does not mean that blockages or challenges won't exist. They do exist. There's no denying that. And we're not saying, I'm not saying that they're going to completely disappear. But what I am saying is we won't get stuck or mesmerized by them for so long if we remember to reveal the truth, cross out the blocks, and reveal the truth. So we get to rise up. We rise up and bless the world with what we are here to do. The infinite invisible, it's always wanting to create through its creation. You, me. And it will not be denied. Rising up beyond our blockages, our resentments, our fear-based stories, this frees us up, opens that spiritual bandwidth for innovation, for as yet undreamed of creations. You know, consciousness caravans, this idea of taking science of mind to the people where they camp, it's never been done before. And it took a willingness on my part to say yes, to rise above the challenges. Ernest Holmes wrote in The Science of Mind that the science of mind itself, it is a teaching and a practice. So if we are willing to rise up, we must practice rising up. We must practice releasing that which is not spiritual truth, and daily discipline ourselves to practice rising up above that race consciousness or the blocked ways of thinking or being, to cross out the opposites. So I encourage you to create a new transcendent narrative of your life based on what is possible. God. All things are possible in God, not what's been blocking it. Write a new story of self-love, self-care, and self-expression. Dare to cross out the doubting words of others, the negative news headlines, and the dogma of religious fear. Every step we take in growing our awareness of God, sitting by the beach, watching the sunrise, traveling the country and seeing the wide open vistas. Every step we take in growing our awareness of God and our awareness of our oneness with God will lead us further and further from our familiar, comfortable realms of thought and belief. Yes, it will. I can tell you that. But all of those familiar, comfortable realms of thought and belief can be part of the blockages that keep us small and restrained. It can feel scary. It can feel unpredictable and nerve-wracking. But this sacred life that we are living, it's not a dress rehearsal. And it's not a punishment. I encourage you to dare to see yourself as a victorious being of pure spirit. Dare to live as more than you ever have. Reveal truth. God is. Release the blocks and rise up. And do it again and again and again. Blessed be. All right, Paul.
Wow. Thank you, Reverend Sally. Home run. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we're going to take a few minutes, around 10 or 15 or so, to open it up for discussion or questions. And the way we do that is we can turn on our cameras, go into gallery view and turn on your cameras. And if you wish to speak, you can raise your hand like this. I'm going to be moderator tonight. Raise your hand like this, I'll recognize you. Or you can use your reaction button at the bottom, like I'm going to do right now. and then it'll raise your hand. And then when you're complete, you can lower your hand. So first of all, wow is the word I have for Reverend Sally. Let's show our appreciation for what she shared with us. We're so grateful. And did her talk bring up something that you want to acknowledge or share or question or inquire about? Here's your chance. Turn on your camera, raise your hand, or use the reaction button. And I see Constance's hand is up. So Constance, you can go.
Well, I just wanted to say, Reverend Sally, that it seems that you have brought up a theme that is going to be a theme for a while, because I was just doing announcements, and we've got 2 new workshops coming up, and they're both dealing with exactly what you were talking about in different ways.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so you'll hear that in the announcements. One of them you get to do through paint, and the other one you get to do through the regular way we're used to at the center. So
Yes. Yeah. I love the kinesthetic. I love the idea of the paint allowing your mind and your heart to come out through your hands. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Constance. Anyone else want to bring up something or ask a question or just chat with Reverend Sally? Reverend Jerry, I see your hand is up.
Lovely service, Reverend Sally. Thank you so much. I'd love to hear the affirmations spoken if there's time and the possibility.
That's a great idea.
And
Yeah, sharing like
I'd
that.
love to share mine to start.
Please.
I am open and receptive to all the goodness of life. The goodness of life, be it perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect relationships, and so much more.
Yes. You wrote a lot in that little bit of time.
Amen.
That's fabulous.
Amen.
Thank you for that.
So I want to ask, what I'd like to do is ask, what did you write as a block? Don't go away yet. What did you write as a block, and crossing it out, and then writing the reaffirmation?
Okay, are you asking me?
I'm asking you. Yeah,
So
we're using you as our
Oh,
example.
okay, I'm willing and open and receptive. So my block was sick and tired,
Yes.
poor, unlovable.
Oh,
And you crossed it out, right?
Yeah, here it is, right here. See?
Fabulous. Fabulous.
And I reclaimed my good in that first affirmation. God
Thank you,
is
Reverend
whole,
Jerry.
perfect, and complete. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want to say, this is Sherry. I can't get my video started. It said the host has blocked me. I don't know if that's happening for others too.
Hold on. There we go. Try that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So Sherry, would you like to go next? No? Yes? Maybe? You're muted now, so.
I'll wait, Paul. Thank you.
Okay. Who else? Thank you, Reverend Jerry. Who else would like to maybe share their affirmation and what they crossed out? Dr. Judith, I see your hand raised.
Yes. My affirmation is I am willing to move in the direction of God daily. And the block is just the simple negating of that, where I said, I am only willing to move in the direction of God when things are going well. I hate to say that, but I think that's true. It was wonderful to cross it out. I think I will try to do that with other things, to just really maybe take a big black marker and really cross it out. And I feel that this can be a very big help for me, and I'm going to start to try it, to try to do that, and not to judge it, because there's a temptation to judge the affirmation. But the biggest word, the most important word for me in any situation is the word willing.
Yes.
That's what I find the resistance comes. I think I want to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm looking for the willingness. It's as if I'm waiting for someone else. This is pretty down and out. Waiting for someone else to tell me what it is that I am to do. Okay.
I am willing. I am willing. I love that affirmation. I am willing. And then what you're going to write, I encourage you to keep doing it, right? And when you write it, I am willing, write that whatever those judgments are that come up, and cross them out. Right? Yeah. I am willing, and cross out anything else that comes up.
Something that comes up as a but.
Yes. Write the buts and cross them out.
But what if, but what, whatever follows that. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go. Now I'm
Well,
ready.
hi, Sherry. Okay, Sherry, your turn. Thank you so much, Dr. Judith.
Thank you, Judith. Okay, my original affirmation is, I am a gifted energy medicine healer.
Yes.
And then I brought my blocks out and they shouted, but I'll do it wrong. I don't know enough yet. There's so much to learn. And I crossed those out and I wrote, I am a gifted energy medicine healer.
And so it is.
And so it is.
It is.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally.
You're welcome. And don't worry about doing it wrong. You can look at my screen now. My Zoom light has gone out, so all I have is the light above my head. I'm doing it wrong. We're together here.
We'll critique your appearance at the after show.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll talk to you once you get on. We'll talk about you when you get on the road. Okay, Sally. Justin, I see your hand up. Thank you, Sherry.
Yes, this was wonderful, and I can't wait to do it again with different things in mind. But for me, since I'm still a newcomer, and it was a wonderful big step for me to be invited. Thank you, Maureen. But to come to church and want so much to be a part of it. But my blocks were that I'm ungodly and unworthy of leading or sharing, just in general. But my final affirmation is, and I had to write, Jackie O asked us to write a couple of, I guess, affirmations also about ourselves. And I realized that in doing that I do have a lot to give. So my affirmation as of now is that I am an angel of the endless abundance of God's love that I promise to share with everyone I come in contact with.
Yes. And so it is.
And so it is.
Wow.
And so it is. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. It's important for us to share with each other. I think I was thinking about the darkness in here, and I'm used to, from Consciousness Caravans, I'm used to sitting around a campfire at night where it's kind of dark. So this felt really familiar to me. And in that sitting around the campfire kind of idea, in that feeling tone of communicating with each other, of supporting each other and saying, yes, I hear you. I support your intention with love. And you've got this tool now where you can cross out anything that gets in the way of that and rewrite it. again and again and again, that affirmation.
Wow. Thank you, Shaston. Reverend Sally, I don't know if you know this. I know you know that we've reopened under limited conditions at the center, and our youth and family has Jackie O leading it right now. And Shaston has risen to the opportunity of being her and Diane upstairs with the kids every Sunday.
Fabulous,
So
fabulous.
Shaston has already stepped into that truth. So I just want to recognize Shaston's willingness to contribute to the center. She's found her calling, and we support you, Shaston, in continuing that. Jody, did you have your hand up? Did you want to share? No,
yes.
Someone told, yes?
Yes, I had my hand up, and my affirmation is, okay, here we go. I'm bold, courageous, poised, and confident in public speaking and presentation. Yay. I just did. So, cross it out. I'm shy, scared, and nervous. Okay, rewrite it. I'm bold, courageous, poised, and confident in public speaking and presentation.
Wow.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And Dodie, I want to tell you, one of my fondest memories of working with you was when I was a lead practitioner for a Sunday, and we had to replace the pulpit assistant that Sunday. And you were there, and I went over and I asked, it's going to make me cry. I asked if you would step in, and you did. You stepped in as pulpit assistant, and you were brave and bold, and you spoke from your heart in knowing God. That is powerful, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Reverend Sally, I'm going to bring you up to speed on something very near and dear to my heart. Thanks to Dodie and thanks to Deborah Jackson, we have continued Dr. Dan into year 2.
I love Dr. Dan.
So please join us on the road at 12:15. That's right there, right there. Right within arm's reach. But Dodie, you are such a gifted facilitator at Dr. Dan. I hope you know how much you bring to that when we're together. I learned my best presentation skills from what you show every day when you're present with us, leading us through that.
Yes.
So
thank you.
Yes.
I support your affirmation. So yeah, Dr. Dan is into year 2. And in order to hit every single reading, because they fall on weekends, we don't meet on weekends, we're gonna have to go another year to catch that one that was a Saturday last year. So but anyways, thank you, Jody. Is there anybody else that would like to share their affirmation and their blockage cross out? Danielle, please come forward.
I'm trying to start my video.
Okay, hold on. I'll help you. Oops. There we go. Does that help?
I think so.
I see something.
Yeah.
There's light at Danielle's house. Now we just gotta find it.
Looks like your
Okay,
thumb.
there we go. Oh, sorry. It looked like I had that on there too. Well, I thought I would have a little light in there. I don't know what that is, but I thought I would open up and be a little vulnerable as well, because I really appreciated that Reverend Jerry shared the statement that she wrote on Lovable. So I thought it would, be really good for me to share my affirmation, just to validate everything and open up. But I wrote my affirmation is, I am opening my heart up to love. And my blockages were a lack of trust, previous disappointment, and my experience with love loss. And so I crossed those off and decided back to, I'm opening my heart up to love.
And
So
so it is.
thank you for letting me share that.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Danielle. That
Thank
is
you.
fabulous.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Danielle. Lita, did you have your hand up? Did you want to share something? Lita, you need to unmute if you want to chat.
Okay, there I am.
Yes, we see
Hey.
you.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Reverend Sally.
Hi, Lita.
I joined in quite late, but when I joined in, the affirmation you stated was, I am divinely healed. And that resonated with me. That's what I needed to hear, because that is what I affirm. I am divinely healed. There is no other way. I can't cross out anything else at this point. I am divinely healed. That's my affirmation, and that's what I'm sticking to. For perhaps another affirmation, I can go through the steps that you brought forth tonight, which I think are amazing, and I can certainly use that process with other affirmations. But for right now, I can only focus on my health and being divinely healed. So I thank you for that very much.
You are welcome, and I support you in your affirmation. I hear you, I see you, and I support you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Great. So let's show our, I mean, not great, but thank you. Now you're giving me the space to allow us to thank Reverend Sally appropriately. So if you would show your appreciation. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Sally. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. It's so great to see you. It's so great to see you.
It is wonderful to see you, Reverend Sally.
Thank you. Sitting in the dark here. Thank you.
May I ask you a quick
Great
question?
to see you.
Oh, sure.
I was curious how receptive everybody has been to you on the road, sharing your ministry at the various campgrounds and stuff. I was very curious how that was going for you.
It is. Thank you for asking that question. And it has been amazing, the reception that we've gotten. And we're kind of flying under the radar. We go to the campground. We have on our doors of our motorhome our Consciousness Caravans logo and our name. And then we just communicate and we connect with the people at the campground. And one of my favorite times that I'll share with you is we had a family that was on one side of us and another family on the other. But this one family on the one side, they were 30 somethings and they had a young child. I think he was 4, and they were going to be there for about 2 weeks. And we just connected with these guys. And so they came over and they asked us to come sit at their campfire, and they asked others to come sit at their campfire too. And at the campfire, we just started talking about life, God. How do we deal with what's going on in the world today? And it was the most uplifting evening that we had. And afterwards, several of the families subscribed to my YouTube channel.
Oh.
So the word is getting out there that God is good. Yeah. So thank you for asking that, Danielle.
Wonderful.
That's fabulous.
Yes, thank you for sharing.
Reverend Sally, just as a side note, other than how wonderful this process was and how wonderful it is that you're home physically and digitally in the moment, the revelation that I've been having through the Dr. Dan readings is you keep coming up in my mind, and you always said there's just 2 things. That's it. You and Reverend E said the same thing way back before you were a minister back when we were doing Wednesday nights and you were a practitioner helping and speaking even back then. You said, God is, I am. That's it.
Yes.
God is, I am.
Yes.
So I've been sharing that with the daily devotional group and I attribute it to you. So thank you for sharing that with me from a long time ago. And it took all this time to stick. So thank you. It does, you know, the sinners will come around eventually, y'all. They will come around. Oh, with that in mind, I have some announcements that I'd like to share with you, let you know what's going on at the center. And then we'll get ready to close. So, Helene, when you're ready, we can start. Excellent. This Sunday, April 24th, ministerial student Teresa Gardner will be talking about Boldly Go. So join us in person with meditation at 10 a.m. and the service at 10:30. We are now streaming directly to YouTube, and the link is on the homepage if you choose not to attend with us in person. Remember, if you do come in person, you'll need to show your vaccination card and photo ID, and wearing a mask indoors is required. Next Wednesday, April 27th, practitioner Zoe DeMuro, who's on the call with us tonight, will join us from his home. No, he will not join us from his home on the road. That was Sally's leftover from last week. He will join us from his home. And he'll be talking about Boldly Go. Edit, Paul, before you talk. Meditation at 6:30 and service at 7. Wednesday night services will remain in Zoom. Greg Lavoie, an international spiritual speaker, is coming to Oakland Center on Sunday, May 1st. He'll be speaking and doing a workshop on the stories we tell ourselves after service. If you haven't experienced Greg before, make sure to put this on your calendar. The workshop cost is $30. Diversity Circle is meeting Friday, April 22nd, when our own Cozy Arrington, along with his coworker Nia Thompson, will be sharing the work of Peers, P-E-E-R-S, Peers Envisioning and Engaging in Recovery Services. They will be discussing the work of peers and how we can create a future where people with mental health experiences are valued for their essential contributions to society. Join us to learn how Peers is making that happen. Again, that's Friday, April 22nd, and you can get at 7 o'clock, and the Zoom information is on our events page of our website. Now, Earth Day is this Friday, the 22nd, and our own loving stewards of Mother Earth Ministry are inviting you to take part in several activities around Oakland and Berkeley on Saturday and Sunday, April 23rd and 24th. That's this coming weekend. Please go to the details about this on our events page. And you can see all the activities that are in and around our area here. How are you navigating the return to normal life post-pandemic? Have the past 2 years changed you? Join practitioner Constance Chapman on Saturdays, May 7th and May 21st, and paint yourself out of the pandemic mindset at an event she is calling Rumble to Renewal. The virus may still be with us. How we let it impact our thinking is our choice. By adding image and movement to our spiritual beliefs and practices, we can go a bit deeper and come out revealing more of who we really are. No painting knowledge or experience is needed. Cost is $150 and all supplies are included. Bear with me just a second. I just lost my notes. It's a technical wizardry night. Do you want a t-shirt with our window or Science of Mind symbol? Check out our Redbubble website. That's www.redbubble.com. And then within that, you would do a /people OCSL bookstore and /shop. It's on the website. There are many styles to choose from: long sleeve, short sleeve, sweatshirt, hoodie, etc. And you can select your size. There are also many other products you can choose from. Order from the bookstore account of redbubble.com, and we will get a percentage back to our bookstore for the sale. I'm sure Constance is going to publish this in the newsletter, so you can click on the link to that website so it's easier. The bookstore incredible sale continues on all the merchandise that we have in the bookstore right now through April. So Sally, if you need to pick up something before you go back on the road, we have a tremendous sale. 5 items, all 50% off. So if you need to pick up something, it's in the bookstore. Expect new items in May. The Compassionate Attention to Loss meets on Sunday, May 1st at 12:30, both in person and online. The theme is the gifts of grief. Details and Zoom access are on the events page of the website. You can also contribute to Relief for Ukraine at csl.org/Ukraine. If you're interested, we do make a difference in this world. And always, for information on everything that's going on at the Oakland Center, please visit our website. Be sure to check out the events page. And don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Now, let's take a moment as I read the new minister's covenant. Please follow along with your microphones off. I take a moment and breathe this in. To conduct this ritual that we do on Sundays, we also do it on Wednesday. The new minister sacred covenant. There is only one life.
This
life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life, that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to reveal spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as wisdom. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by Spirit, for it is written, I am filled with divine wisdom. I allow divine mind to fill my mind now. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as unity in the community. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself. For I am inspiring unity and diversity, embracing and nourishing our community. I am awakening the wisdom within. I am healing and expanding our community with the power of love. I am engaging the community and building a world that works for everyone. I am deepening family consciousness. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they are revealed in a way that illumines spirit and serves the highest and greatest good for all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious. And so it is. Ashe.
Ashe.
So in this moment of gratitude, I remember that the gift I give is God in action. It does good work in the world and blesses creation. So I just take a moment and I receive your offerings. I use this digital collection bowl to collect your offerings. And then I think, how can I put those in? Well, there's several ways. One, going to the homepage of the website. You can use the donation button for credit cards, or you can mail it in on a check at the Clairwood Drive address listed there. If you're good at texting, you can text to 510-327-3431 and do it through texting. Or if you're familiar with Zelle, you can go to your donation can go to giving@oaklandcsl.org in Zelle. And if you're willing and able to come and join us with your vaccination card and your photo ID and your mask on Sunday, we do have collection baskets there as well. So join us on Sunday. I'm reminding everyone to make sure that you check your Village News newsletter. We talked a lot tonight about Earth Day, and please check the events page for information about that. I'm grateful, so grateful for this evening, grateful for everyone that has participated. I want to recognize some folks tonight. I want to thank Reverend Sally for the beautiful meditation and the presentation. I also want to thank Reverend Jerry for being with us tonight. We're so blessed to have what I'm calling my senior minister here supporting us every Wednesday night. She has such a busy schedule. It just keeps me on my good behavior when you're here, you and Dorothy, okay? Dorothy's also been here tonight, and I'm grateful for her constant prayer and personal support, as well as for Zoe down there. He's always taking care of me and keeping me lifted up. But the people that keep me lifted up the most on Wednesday night is the Zoom team. Tonight, they wore many hats, and we traded places technically in a lot of arenas tonight, and they were all on the spot perfect. So I want to recognize Constance for being our host and our administrator that puts this all together behind the scene days in advance. So much work she puts into Wednesday nights, and we're grateful. Helene and Alice and Sabrina and Trisha, you guys are just the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So in another moment of gratitude, I ask Reverend Sally to come forward and close us out in prayer.
Thank you, Paul. I'm happy to do so. And in recognition that we're a little bit over this time.
You know, Sally, I knew everybody wanted to spend time with you, and I just banked in an extra 5 minutes, and no one died. No one suffered in the process for it. So please, thank you for being so willing to go into overtime.
No worries. So I invite everyone to go into prayer with me. Close your eyes, open your heart and your mind. Allow your awareness to be fully present to this moment. In this moment, I recognize that God is. There is one life. This life is God. This life is good. This life is the life and the good that I claim for myself, that we each claim for ourselves, for we are part of it. We are the community within the unity. We are one in and of God. And I am so grateful for this time of celebration, this Wednesday night oasis with the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, where we got to reveal, release, and rise up. I am grateful for this Science of Mind community. And from this place of gratitude, I release this prayer, saying, "Blessed be." And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is.
So it is.